Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Link to the Past Randomizer Open League Season 6 matchup between Link Floyd and the Joy of Rando. Link Floyd being represented by jeddoman for this seed, and Joy of Rando being represented by Shinmaru. I am MindDM. I'm joined on the call today by my good buddy Norsk Maddie, a teammate of mine. Maddie, how are you doing?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, and this, I think, is going to be an interesting little matchup that we've got here. We've got Casual Boots, the second game of the two-game set between these teams. Joy of Rando took the first one to move to 6 points on the season, and Jeddo looking to even the score in Week 2 and raise Link Floyd up to 9 points on the season.
Yeah, the winner of this match will be in sole possession of second place in this division. And even though it's early, it's always good to be the higher the standings than lower. So decent stakes on the line here, even this early in the season.
You'd always like to bank the points when you can get them. You look at the team and you say, all right, these are tough competition. We've got some other tough competition in other modes coming up here down the line. Let's get the points in the bank while we can, and that way we have to worry just a little less when we come up against those teams in later weeks that maybe we don't match up as favorably against.
Yeah, and this is a good matchup between these two players and teams. Very strong players. These two.
You have to think going in that Shinmaru is thinking, please just give me Crystal Swamp. Crystal Swamp is a thing that I want to see. jeddoman, a known and very competent hoverer. Shinmaru, not so much. But we'll expect that he'll try and make that up with some rando savvy here as he goes along.
Yeah, that almost never comes up, right? So the whole hook shot thing.
It's uncommon until it isn't. There was certainly an open league match decided yesterday based on the ability of one runner to hover and the other one having to track down the hook shot in a rather unfortunate location.
We'll have to hope that doesn't happen for Shinmaru's sake today.
Neither runner giving us the pre-castle map check, so we don't even know what we're working with in the light world just yet. But that's fine. We're likely to get that once we get out into the broader world. A lot of people, myself included, like to just kind of go on through this and not even worry about that yet. We'll just get everything warmed up. The escape sequence in Casual Boots is kind of nice. You can sit there and you get the hands going. You get the mind-muscle connection working, and then you can start worrying about the rando aspect of it later.
Yeah, I don't think any other rando mode has a better warm-up setup than Casual Boots. You get to do this escape sequence. You don't even need the warm-up. This is your warm-up. And speaking of matchups, I don't even do that until I'm done with Kakariko Village. So, because I've never, unless I'm thinking I'm going to Eastern right away, I don't need to know until the end of Kakariko at the earliest.
Everybody going for 8/strats here.
jeddoman cutting it a little close, but did die, so success.
It's fine. The health is there to be used as a resource. It's that last heart that really matters. Just don't get stabbed by a couple of green guards as you're heading on back towards the back of the escape sequence, and everything will be fine. Both runners going for that newer quick hop off the top of that ledge and then dash strat. For a long time, you would see people go off the right-hand side there and then either diagonal up or make the questionable choice to dash up to those automatic stairs. It's just interesting to see how over time the escape sequence has been refined further and further, even in the casual boot space, where you would think, people would have tried that before now, and yet I feel like that's a more recent development.
And the more you see it, the more it gets done by other people.
There's the map, the one thing that you're hoping to be able to skip, but no, no skipping today.
That's if you can remember that when you leave Escape that you haven't found the map yet, and you don't need to open that sanctuary chest.
That's one of the hardest tricks in the game, isn't it?
It's right up there with remembering how to do the Turtle Rock torch room without the hookshot.
Yeah, that's tricky. Not opening the Maiden Cell chest in Thieves Town if you're in go mode.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Alright, Back of Escape really loaded here. That second sword, you're never going to turn down Bombos Medallion's pretty good. We may or may not need that later for one of the Medallion dungeons or getting at Ice Palace.
Yeah, definitely remains to be seen on Bombos, but it at least has a functional use beyond just opening dungeons, unlike the other two medallions. And a shield.
And Jeddo doesn't seem to be interested in going on to the village here, interestingly enough. Let's see, Shinmaru is going to head on out. I'm less enamored of this play in casual boots just because there's these bonk rocks right here that are completely accessible, and if you leave something there, it's kind of inconvenient to come back to them. Redarang unlikely to be the kind of thing that really ruins your day, though.
Yeah, I think he'll probably get it anyway, but he's not gonna miss it.
That's a very unfortunate stun prize. The single rupees, the 20 rupees on the tier 2 triple's a bit better.
It's nice, a little bit difficult to set up constantly, but the heart's kind of useless.
And realistically, most of the time you don't do more than a couple of tree pulls anyway, so the fact that it's not easy to set up is not really so much the problem as it gets you 80 rupees closer to paying off Bottle Vendor. Makes life just a little easier as you're heading for the village.
It's nice, you don't have to rely on finding more rupees in Kakariko before getting to Bottle Vendor, just in case none of the chests have it. It's a nice moon pearl, we don't have to worry about hunting that down.
Lamp and a bow in Mini Moldorm Cave. Alright, that's a couple of things. Lamp first fire, not necessarily required in some seeds, but it'll get the job done.
There's a quick map check from jeddoman. Looks like all crystals and Tower of Hera was a red crystal.
Bit convenient if at the moment inaccessible. You would have to think that Jeddo is going to continue dodging Eastern, or dodging the village in favor of going to Eastern, having found that lamp and bow and knowing it's a crystal.
You may as well. I mean, it's a crystal. You've just suddenly put everything completely in logic and completable. And we're gonna get this water walk from the jeddoman. Is not going to have Zora money. It looks like going to set up for a double water walk though, just in case there's something on Zora Ledge.
Well, this may be more the kind of thing where you swim up to Hobo here, and then you use your water walk to come out. And I don't necessarily like that in this circumstance, because you don't have Zora money. Unless you get multiple 300s, you're not going to have Zora money. So you can just use the water walk immediately and go waterfall into this check and save to quit out. And meanwhile, Shinmaru's pulling the hammer from the well.
Yeah.
Because swimming is not the worst thing in the world, but dashing is much faster.
Yeah, and you're right. Since you have, you do not have Zora money, and you almost certainly will not. I think it's faster to go check out the items here in this area and then run back from Hobo.
Well, there was one of those 3 hundos, and I guess if jeddoman really wants to, he can dig for the rest of his money. That would be a pretty spicy choice, though, needing 100 rupees. Nearly enough.
That would be something, yeah.
Nice sword.
Is he gonna...
He's checking his
Okay.
kill prize. I think if he had gotten arrows off of that, he was at least going to give it an attempt.
Yeah. Could try to splash it with that bow, but no arrows means that's not an option.
Then he could have tried to dig some up as well, and, well, sometimes the shovel giveth and sometimes the shovel says, yeah, here you go, 45 digs later, you finally get what you're looking for. Ether medallion on the library shelf there. Shinmaru picking that up. Just about done with the village exploration here. 3 hundo already has 547 rupees, says, nope, I can't spend that time.
Yeah, there's plenty of money, and he doesn't know it, but once he goes in the waterfall cave, there'll be another 300 there. So money is not going to be a problem here.
Yeah, and oh look, more sword. Just go to Saha's closet. This seed is really trying to telegraph Aga. We don't have any other of the parts of Dark World access. Well, no, that's not true. Shinmaru has that hammer, so theoretically a glove could come out of Eastern here.
Oh yeah. And that's that sword in Saw's closet means you don't really need to worry too much about that sword that's on Zora Ledge anymore. Like, Gold Sword's nice, but I don't really need to go out of your way for it, like, that far.
Yeah, I expect that Jeddo is going to be marking that off and may go so far as to just say, you know what, I'm willing to make Zora a last location here.
Shinmaru is going to be a little bit more thorough here. He is going to go do the Dam to Agina route, get this taken care of, make sure he doesn't leave anything behind that might end up not coming back to Agina for quite some time.
It's a Sphere 1 location. There's nothing that says that the game couldn't have just put a glove here, at which point, well, then you have Dark World access, and you probably still go do the rest of South Shore anyway, as other parts of Sphere 1 locations, but...
Just a bit more health.
Yeah, just a little more health.
Yeah, I think, either we're going to find something here in Eastern or we're doing Aga. Because I think everything else that's possibly in Logic has already been checked. We don't have... Zora is not in Logic without a glove or...
Without a glove or the flippers. Won't necessarily prevent a runner from checking it anyway, of course, and Shinmaru about to get that Eastern Palace care package here.
Yeah, and in fact, Shinmaru, if he decides to water walk, can definitely check Zora. So, and it has the money to pay Zora.
A little more health for Jeddo in that vanilla big key location in Eastern Palace.
It's been all various kinds of hearts so far in Eastern Palace. And looks like we got an item on Armos Knight, so delayed gratification on this dungeon.
Yeah, that's fine. Whether it's a good item or not, it's also that first dungeon prize that you get to put on the board around 15 minutes. So, yeah, you'd like to have those, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do love a really early crystal. Doesn't really mean anything, but it's nice.
it's better than those seeds where you're closing in on half an hour and you're saying, wait a minute, where's my first dungeon clear coming from? I'd even accept the pendant at this point.
I was gonna say, sometimes it's like, oh, I've got 2 pendants, great.
Jeddo setting up for this classical Armos quick kill strat.
Alright, well,
Just hammers it right down.
yep, and that's nothing there in Eastern. There's a very, very poor return on investment in Zora.
And it looks like Shinmaru's going to give at least one shot to this splash deletion for the sword. He doesn't know about the one in Sawhouse Closet yet. Says, you know what, Tempered is a lot better than Master Sword. Let me give this a go really quick.
Yep, does have an arrow pickup at some point. Gets it done first try. Very nice.
And that's very likely to be a perpetual sword advantage, because I do not foresee Jeddo ever coming back for that sword. Even if he goes to check Zora, I feel like he's going to say, Tempered Sword is good enough for me. I think we're just going to go along with it.
Yeah, that could be very true.
That out of logic shovel, just yielding arrows. Jeddo saying, well, you know, those would have been nice when I wanted to get that sword that I don't care about anymore.
Yeah, so yeah, now they're going to trade places, do the things that the other did earlier, and then reconvene at Castle Tower on their way to Aga.
And that should be when we get an idea of which runner is ahead, because, well, they'll have done basically everything at that point. Now, Shinmaru will be up a couple of checks, since he had the Zora money and since he chose to do Agina, so one would expect that he's going to be maybe a little behind up that Castle Tower climb, but with a couple of checks in the back pocket.
Yeah. I mean, the question will be, will jeddoman decide to just do Aga and not bother going and doing that one-off Agina check?
I feel like that's a reasonably common choice. It is a little out of the way if you're not pairing it up something like Damn to Agina.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, once you leave it like that, it can be hard to justify running back just for it, and you just hope that Agina just doesn't have anything.
That is a really interesting location for the mirror. Speaking of locations that are in a bit of a one-off state, I don't foresee Shinmaru getting that before the Aga play.
No, and actually this doing Cac last has worked out in jeddoman's favor a bit there.
And it's one of those things that, strangely enough, doesn't really change much yet, but it's going to make the eventual pod play a lot more convenient for him.
Yeah, that and, if like there's a hookshot at pod and that's the way that you get across to West Dark World, Shinmaru follows that, won't have the mirror in order to go get that sick kid check. So it could be, depending on what kind of items we have to give us access further, could be some time before Shinmaru has a reason to go back to CAC and check that sick kit to get that mirror.
Yeah, the more ideal situation for Shinmaru, I think, would be a glove in pod, and then you are just entering the Dark World for the Village of Outcasts and Thieves Town and so forth from the Portal 3. At which point you just turn in your bottle to Sick Kid first, and you say, oh, well, this is convenient.
That would be ideal.
Now, is Jiddo saving out of the Thieves drop, or... Yeah, gonna go check the Lumberjack first? That makes sense. Again, it's Kaz boots, you've had the boots forever, and especially since we're now just staring the Agassiz directly in the face, you kinda want to know whether or not that means anything.
Yeah, it looks like he's just about to go do Aga. You might as well, like, is the reason I'm doing this to oh, he's gotta do Bonk Rocks.
Yeah, he has to pick up Bonk Rocks as well.
Okay, he's not gonna check Lumberjack, it's just for Bonk Rock.
Yeah, you just figure, alright, well, I'm killing Aga anyway, I'll be over in this area eventually, I can just blind check it. That's fine.
He does have the mirror, so if he ends up there, even in the Dark World, he can, you know, do a quick mirror transition to check it out.
Shinmaru putting that Eastern Palace crystal on the board about 5 minutes later. But mostly because he was doing other things at the time when Jeddo was over here.
Yeah, Shinmaru going to be about a Gina check behind, going up the tower here.
That and the rest of the run to Zora that didn't happen. And the acquiring of that sword, which turned into butter.
Alright, yeah, so yes, both of them are going to decline to do the one-off that each one of them has, which makes sense. It's unfortunate for Shinmaru, but I probably would do the same thing. I'm not going to make a special trip just for Sick Kid.
Yeah, you could argue that the shovel check is also on the way to that check, but since that's still out of logic, there's not a strong reason to rush it when it's really high probability that you're just doing the Aga play anyway. Why not just go ahead and get it over with?
Yeah, I think at this point you're probably thinking that Aga is like a very high percentage required. Might as well just let's get this done.
And Jeddo's just blasting on through this.
Oh yeah. The equipment is really nice. Even the tempered sword, gold sword, whatever. It's meant for you to have a fighter sword. So or a master sword. I'm sorry. So a little sword upgrade makes things a little bit easier.
And in Shinmaru's case, he's basically just going to one-shot everything.
Yeah, even the red guards die instantly to gold sword.
Yeah, not even setting up spins for those red guards, just says, you know what, Shin, why? Why did you boomerang the guard first?
Just out of range of the sword there through the wall.
Yep, just out of range of the sword. And we'll see how terrible the wizard is. And the answer is looking like fairly terrible.
Yeah, gonna try to stay alive as long as possible, I guess. Delay the inevitable.
Round 2 seemed to be a little better than round 1, at least. And it ends at the beginning of cycle 3. Likely to get the map check here in a very red pyramid. Jeddo getting that hammer out. Looks like he's going to say no to Pod as the first play and head at least for Hype Cave. No, never mind. Get the hammer out and then head for Pod anyway. Sure, that'll work.
It is fully in logic completable. And now we know it is also crystal. I saw pendants at Ice and Thieves, I think, but I'm not
And
sure.
at Mire.
And at Mire, okay.
I did not catch the other red crystal, though. Hopefully Late Bit, who's doing the tracking for us today, has that one, and, well, Shinmaru007's going to double down for us. And it is Skullwood's red crystal.
Yes, and the green pendant in this case is Mire.
This is maybe a bit of an unfortunate layout for Shinmaru, who is probably looking at that and saying, well, I don't want to get anywhere near the village until I get a fire rod at this point.
Yeah, the pendant thieves means it's not as pressing to get over there and do that. Also, as was pointed out in chat, the swamp being a crystal means that mirror is required, so you'll have to get that at some point. I expected he will. It's just a matter of when.
And it also increases the likelihood that the hookshot shows up. And here's the reason why Shinmaru wants the hookshot to show up. You see it on Jeddo's side.
Give this at least a couple tries.
Yeah, you get the couple of warm-up tries. You say, all right, well, that's one of the more difficult hovers in the game. Let's not worry about it too much. Unfortunately, Pod is one of those dungeons where you see a whole lot of keys in the beginning, so it's not entirely unlike Turtle Rock in that way, it's just even stronger because it has more keys.
It's very backloaded, yeah. A lot of chests locked behind all the keys. We got a couple of non-key items in the front here, so we know we can skip the null big key chest, which is always appreciated.
Somehow we have a lot of variance in arrow count at the moment. Jeddo in the back finding the red cane. That's nice, that's kind of required when you gotta do TR.
Oh yeah. You're gonna need it eventually.
Oh, and Shinmaru's just gonna rush the boss. This is not a terrible play for the runner who doesn't have the mirror, because now you just get the boss done, and then rather than worrying about how to get to the boss later, you just get to save and quit out of the back.
Yeah. This will save him a little bit of time, I think, actually. Based on the fact that he doesn't have the mirror, he doesn't have the death warp out of the back here.
Given that he already had the big key and I think enough small keys, he could have also just done the immediate hammer yump and routed through that way and come through Harmless Hellway to the boss.
True, yeah.
Which wouldn't have been too bad.
We did get a fire rod in Dark Maze.
Oh, shocking.
Jeddoman, so pretty nice Crystal Palace to Crystal Palace of Darkness. Yeah.
And that is one of those things that Shinmaru needed to see to get him back into range of that mirror. Of course, still unable to enter the Dark World over there, interestingly enough.
Yeah, I imagine like it's going to
There'll just be a glove or maybe a hook shot on
Like Hype Cave or something.
in Hype Cave or along that southern loop somewhere.
Looks like we lost Shinmaru for a moment, so hopefully we'll be able to get him back.
Meanwhile, somehow we're going to see Helmsaur King, but we're going to see it from Jeddo. Hammer hits the mask, and then some Tempered Sword slashes to finish off the job. Okay, so there's just a glove on Helmsaur King.
Well then, yeah, we're good.
That makes Shinmaru's life a lot easier, assuming that this is just a brief internet outage and not a large problem.
Yes. Alright, so a lot of world opened up for jeddoman here.
I'm mildly surprised that he didn't want to save and quit in the Dark World, go back to Pyramid, and then pick off that southern loop. Particularly when you have the mirror, that's... because you can just mirror at the end of that and then go to the portal at 3, which seems to be where he's heading anyway.
Maybe he wants to get a quick start with that Skull Woods with the fire rod he just got there.
Yeah, that's certainly reasonable. And maybe you find Mitz somewhere along this path, and then you don't wind up orphaning the Smith chain forever. Come back to life, Sheen. We miss you. Jeddo going for the middle of Skull Woods here. Half of you hopes to find a small key here, or an item is nice too. A big key, a little less helpful since you're going to the back in these circumstances.
Yeah, ideally, you get both items, you know, between the center room there and back, and you don't have to do the front at all. But it's looking not as likely.
Jeddo with the AFG Memorial Fire Rod shot opening up the back of Skull Woods.
Doesn't want to deal with the mummies and just ethers them out of existence.
Yeah, that's fine. Nobody really wants to deal with those mummies anyway. I'm a little surprised that he didn't choose to take some intentional damage in that room. Moth is one of those fights that you don't really want sword beams for. think he just needs one more slash that counts. The trick is getting a slash to count. There we go.
Gotta hit the moth when it is right in line with that block instead of the spike.
Perhaps unsurprisingly, the moth cheats, but that is a third crystal for Jeddoman at 34 minutes and a half. That's not too shabby. Now, we do have some access problems for a couple of these remaining crystal dungeons. Desert Palace, we're going to need a book or another glove and a flute. For Turtle Rock, we're going to need another glove, the ice rod, maybe the Quake Medallion. For Swamp Palace, we need the hook shot. So, really just one more crystal dungeon on the table that he can actually do at the moment, and I don't really suspect that he's rushing directly for Tower of Hera here.
No, I expect to see a bunch of, Vu and South Dark World, especially since we're running out of Skullwoods here. We could choose the mountain. We could, there's a fair amount that's available, like World Mountain.
Then maybe this just turns into something like a bumper ledge check into a lumberjack check into climbing the mountain. It's entirely possible.
You can do the King's Tomb and Graveyard and run back for the mountain.
Jeddo's still trying to dig the second item out of here. It's just not cooperating.
We are forced to do everything here. Alright, thanks a lot, Skullwoods. Nothing there. On to the next.
Well, for all of that speculation, here we are. Jeddo finds himself in the Village of Outcasts. And I can confirm from the race room that Shinmaru's internet is out. He does have a local recording, still playing the video game. It's just a little unfortunate for us here in Viewerland that we're not getting to see it live at the moment.
There is that hook shot. It's in a pretty reasonable place. A lot of people are going to do the front of Thieves Town at the very least.
Yeah, front four of Thieves, even when it's pinned, and there's Quake, so that is the full medallion knowledge. Turtle Rock now certainly enterable once you have the mitts. The mitts are now the going concern for this seed.
Yep, we just need the mitts, the flippers, and the ice rod to complete the seed. We may need the flute to get one of those items, but it isn't required on its own.
Yeah, we may theoretically need the flute to get into the desert as well.
Oh yeah, we do need the flute, mitts, or that book, so I guess there's another item we do need. Village of Bottles, actually. Two bottles here in Village of Outcasts.
Can't say that I ever thought of Village of Outcasts as the glass works of the Golden Land, but okay, in this case it seems to have been.
Doesn't want or need that money.
Yeah, it's a decent prize under other circumstances, but when you've already got 800 plus rupees, yeah, the 2-second extra time to pick that up, just not worth. Alright, Stumpy, not really worth either, but that's one of those that you don't really get to dodge. Zero's the true worst enemy in the game.
I got beat up a little bit on the way here, but it's maybe the end of the route here. We'll see. There's Catfish, I guess, but I don't think he'll go to that.
That's a fairly long run for one check, especially when you can just pair it in with the Northern Loop Dark World checks later.
Yeah. Well, we are doing something.
Yeah, well, it shows what I know, right? Because I'm pretty sure that's the only thing that he has over here anymore.
And he could hookshot back across.
Yeah.
To get those North Dark World checks. We'll see. Looks like at least it's right now just a trip to Catfish.
It may be Catfish, and then you loop those northern checks in on the way to climbing the mountain.
Yeah, and Zora is also on the table here for jeddoman. He did not do it.
Yeah, that's true, and he does have the mirror, so he can make that check if he really wants to.
Got the mirror, got the money. Thinks this is something that maybe Shinmaru might have been able to get with all the money that was available. Neither fish paying out with anything valuable, though.
Imagine trying to engage in commerce with something that has gills. But Jeddo in for just a little more disappointment here.
Gets that. Skipping the sword, which is fine.
Yeah, kind of go ahead and cross off the lumberjack ledge check. We're just going to blind check this. This is fine.
Got those arrows. Now I think we'll be on our way to the mountain.
And this light mountain should not be as heinously empty as some other light mountains have been recently.
Yeah, considering there isn't very much left, I don't expect to be seeing Dearth Mountain today.
There could be the weird circumstance where what you're looking for is something like flippers in Graveyard Ledge or King's Tomb to get into Swamp Palace to do the things that you're supposed to be doing. But there are more checks up here than there are down there. This is fine. Plus you've got Hera. Completing Hera is going to give you your other 5-6 crystals, so you can do Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, and that pyramid fairy is another reason why waiting on that catfish door thing might have been a better idea. Uh, you can get the pyramid fairy and then go to catfish door if you need to after that.
Yeah,
Like
well,
a
here's the ice
rod.
rod, and there's the immediate drop of the hover. This is actually kind of unusual. Jeddo, normally a very consistent hoverer, and I don't know, maybe this was nail trimming day, but it just hasn't been there for him.
Yeah, so with that ice rod, we just need the mitts and we will be able to complete Turtle Rock.
Man, we're closing in on that mitts go mode state. We just need to find either the flute or the book before the mitts, and that's gonna put paid to the idea of anything else. That access to desert and then the mitts for access to TR is really what we're looking for now. And I guess the flippers need to show up at some point.
We do need the flippers for swap, but yeah. I mean, either mitts or flippers go mode is kind of nice either way because I mean, skip a lot of dungeons. You can skip a couple dungeons if it's flippers go mode too. So
yeah, and you see, I was told that the Spexy statue is a really powerful tech and that we should worry about authorizing its use. But well, you know, you still have to have flippers. You're not getting away without those. Alright, piece of heart in the big chest, not really changing anything.
take care of Moldorm. And
fine. Moldorm has never inconvenienced any runner ever.
He's a lot simpler with a better sword like this. Just kind of has to get out of the way here. No Hera basement, ideal Hera situation. Or did Hera basement have an item?
Yeah, it's difficult for me to leave something behind there in this situation because what are you gonna do? You're doing Spiral now, I guess you've come back up the other side, and then if you still don't have anything off of this play, you run back to Hera?
I suppose, yeah.
Because otherwise we're looking at Graveyard Ledge, King's Tomb, back of Pendant Thieves. Yuck. Like, these are not more appealing options.
There's mid.
Well,
that might get us to the not do Hera basement here, I think.
Yeah, that is a more likely circumstance for the not doing of Hera basement. Because that's just 6 more checks up here on the mountain, and then you can get into TR for some more.
And maybe if after all that you still don't have it.
If after all that you still don't have it, maybe you're just sequence breaking ice. Sequence breaking ice doesn't make a lot of sense here, though, because what, you'd be looking for desert access at that point?
Yeah. You still need to get the flippers.
Yeah, you still have to find the flippers somewhere. The answer was it was Bombos all along for Turtle Rock, so finding Quake last didn't change anything. Unless we need it for Meyer for flippers after some loot in Turtle Rock on Laser Bridge nonsense.
And we had to wait about 45 minutes, but we did find out eventually that that Bombos in Escape was required.
Since the question is coming up in chat from time to time, I will take this time to reiterate that Shinmaru is experiencing internet difficulties. He is local recording. We just don't get to see him here, unfortunately, at the moment.
Yeah, so we are in the same position as Jeddoman. We don't know what position Jeddoman is in.
It's like we're all racing Shinmaru head-to-head here.
A whole lot of nothing in Dark Death Mountain, so we're gonna head into TR and see if this dungeon has anything we want or need.
Game's gone out of its way to make it really accessible. I don't see a reason why it shouldn't have something.
There isn't too much after this where something could be, so still. You can go back to Smith Chain. That'd be fun.
Three bombs, not the most ideal start in the world.
Gomo team art situation, we could have skipped the vanilla big key chest, that big key there, but since we're still looking for things, that's probably not gonna happen.
Jeddo having a bit of a Submaria adventure there in Chomps, but that's okay. No damage taken, no harm done.
Pretty effective dukes of those chops. Didn't take a hit.
One of those doors that you really hope to not open. Especially when it does that to you. And we saw there the danger of using the fire rod on the pokey. It's really the danger of using the fire rod on just about anything that it doesn't auto-kill, like, say, Stalkos. It takes a little while for some things to burn and go away.
Yeah, the fire rod doesn't kill those pokies instantly. You have to watch them immolate for a few seconds before you can move on.
Which, in Jeddo's case, was just long enough to get shot by the Medusa statue. French vanilla shield in the TR big chest. So that's a couple of items for Jeddo. 3 more. Oh, did he actually? I don't think he did. I think he went back intentionally because he knows he missed that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see that little hiccup pause where the game says, I'm opening a door right now, you can't move.
You have to, when you're walking to the right there, you have to move up just a little bit to catch that button.
Alright, laser bridge. This is where we've been speculating for a while that we're going to find. Alright, yep, that does a thing. That's the desert access, gets you into the mire area. That's a few more checks that opens up.
There's a fair amount to do over there. Desert, mire shed, checkerboard cave, misery mire itself, which you probably don't want to do, but could be required. So we're down to just flippers, so we can cross off Ice Palace. Probably you will not see that. And Swamp Palace will just be running through on the way to Argus.
Jeddo trying maybe a little too hard with the backdoor strat with the tempered sword here. Still cleans up phase 1 and gets on ready for phase 2 here.
Not in too much danger. It does have a fairy. Rather not use it on Trinex, but it's there, so he doesn't have to worry too much about taking damage.
That's what now, 5 crystals for Jeddo?
Yep, and I imagine that 6 is going to be coming up shortly. Once we turn in this flute and get our way over the desert.
Jeddo off to 6 as expected. probably see Mire Shack first just because it's quick and it can prevent you from doing a lot of running around in Desert Palace. That would be my guess.
Then you are right.
Alright, so we were never going to have Vanilla Mirror Shield. That was always going to be second shield. In
Yes.
the Turtle Rock Big Chest.
Do a... You just need to swim.
Why look for the flippers? Why not just go take swimming lessons really quick?
No, I can't swim unless I have special equipment.
Well, I am convinced that whoever programmed the swimming in this game never swam a day in his life, so that may actually check out. Surprisingly, for an island nation, that is not really as uncommon as you might expect. Just one of those weird little tidbits.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go. I mean, you can't swim that far, so...
And that green rupee in the Vanilla Big Key location is exactly why you were hoping that the flippers were just going to be in Mire Shack, because now instead you had to do all of that additional running around in desert, and what did it get you? $1 whole.
I remember he turned down 300 earlier at Dig Game. He really doesn't want it, so that 1 rupee is not make him happy.
Yeah, he turned that 300 down, and then immediately Stumpy forced 20 on him, and now the Desert Palace Big Key location is forcing him to take a single rupee. Maybe it all would have just been better if he'd taken the 300 from Big Game.
Wallet would be too full. Let him go without forcing more money on him.
Mulls down for this second item. It's a blue thing, but not the right blue thing. It's also crystal number 6 for Jeddo.
Alright, so now the question is, which non-crystal dungeon thing has the flippers?
It's a good question. And, what? We've got Checkboard Cave, we've got Pyramid Fairy, we've got the back of Pendant Thieves, got Misery Mire.
Yeah. We can't do it yet, but Spike Cave, if we find an invincibility item, Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb have been checked. There's some clothing. We'll take that.
Quick change of clothes, that's fine. Oh, and Shinmaru did this 45 minutes ago. But Jeddo's gonna check it now.
If the blue mail changed the color of the sprite, it's very subtle. I can't tell.
It's subtle.
Okay. Alright, looks like we're gonna get the Pyramid Fairy here. And perhaps...
It's reasonable. At least you know it's not going to be dungeon items, which could be what happens when you start diving Mire. You just go small key, big key.
Yeah. Yeah, the one thing about Mire is it is the green pendant, so there is an extra item attached in there. But you can do this And once you're done with Pyramid Fairy, if it doesn't have the flippers, you can go and do Graveyard Legend King's Tomb right after. So uh, there's some decent density here. And yeah, chat, you can feel free to metagame what you think Shinmaru would have done here, as one might if you were racing him.
Nope, just the game forcing more money on Jeddo, and he still doesn't want those Northern Dark World checks.
Yeah, he's had a couple of chances to go over and do that, and has declined every time. So. Now, there's a few different places this could be between Back of Thieves and Smith Chain.
Looks like he wants Smith Chain. Those are some really clean hammer dashes. I wish mine didn't always look like stutter step, stutter step, stutter step, stutter step, hammer dash, stutter step, hammer dash.
Yeah, I gotta ask.
Of course, but
you know, I can't figure out how to do it first time. It's not something I can do.
And definitely not that cleanly. Piece of heart from the Smiths.
Well, we taking the purple chest here.
Now we're doing the Northern Loop with dragging the purple chest in tow? Alright, that's choice. I mean, these hook dashes, or the hook and then dash is making it not quite so terrible, but I feel like you could have just mirrored and fluted and turned that purple chest in and then come back to your portal of 3 with the mitts.
Yeah, with that flute and everything, dragging this thing around, I don't know about.
Oh, King's Tomb Mushroom. Okay, video game.
Okay, I did wonder if we are going to take the purple chest of mushroom first, but no, we are going to go turn the mushroom, the purple chest in, and then probably go look at the mushroom.
Purple chest for the bug net. Doesn't do anything, game.
Or, actually, I think we're going to take that mushroom and fake powder, and then we're going to turn the mushroom.
Okay. We're gonna fake powder with half magic. C'est la vie. And the answer is fake powder. Okay, dude. Who
Well,
knows where that magic
would've-
bag is?
I would have been wrecked because I would not have done a fake powder. I would wait for the actual powder to show up before going to magic bag. But that pays out, and that is go mode for jeddoman at about 109.45.
Now, what would be funny is if we have a vanilla powder. That would be about the only way we would find out.
Yeah. Powder is probably just hanging out one of those pendant dungeons that haven't been checked here. Probably stinks to get to.
Yeah, it's probably just sitting in iced tea or something. Jeddo a little over-enthusiastic with his go mode Swamp Palace here.
That's not the key you can skip. This is the key you can skip.
And he's not going to skip this one either.
Alright, well, you can skip a different key later if you get this one.
I don't think that Samari is going to do anything for you, Jeddo. He hasn't picked up any magic since he fake powdered for those flippers.
Yeah, but that fake powder worked out very well, but it did cost us the ability to do dive down with the Shinmaru007. But luckily, there's bomb strats too. Pull that off.
Didn't really want to do that with the relatively low heart count, but you get a couple after you dive her down. It's fine.
A little surprising and yeah, this is the key jeddoman is going to choose to skip here in this room, sometimes called the Phelps key. Don't want to swim against the current. I was a little surprised that you didn't check any of the dive down chests for silvers just in case, but jeddoman feels comfortable with what he's got now and is just ready to go ahead and finish the scene.
With no magic also having to take the 2-spin version of Phase 2 there. No magic for Fire Rod or Ice Rod shots, and, well, no silvers.
Now
Phase 2 Argus does take damage from arrows. I wonder if you could do some kind of weird try-hard arrow spin strat.
I think, I mean, maybe if you trap it, I think, don't the arrows push it away?
They should.
Well, that is 7 crystals for jeddoman. He's on his way to Gan's Tower. Just needs to find the GT Big Key there, and have found all the items he needs to go ahead and finish up and kill Gan.
Now, let's see what kind of a GT route Jeddo likes. Just go to Hope and then keep running, I suppose. Where you get a big key and... not a small key.
Not a small...
Gotta go steal one.
Wasn't a perfect Hope, but getting a big key there, still good. So the vast majority of the basement will be unexplored today by jeddoman, and we'll just be going right on our way to the top.
And when Ganon says, "Did you find the arrows in my tower?" you won't feel too bad.
And say, nope, because you put the key in a very easily accessible place.
You just kept it in that dish right next to the door to the garage. Where did you expect me to look for the key?
You gotta hide it better than that.
So Zazax and Stalkos and so forth were in the Hearts pack, which is nice, but it doesn't have magic in it, which is what you really kind of want while you're going through here. High value pack is the most ideal, but beyond that, regular magic pack, maybe low value.
Yeah, it's just all hearts.
Yeah, Hearts and Sticks, I would say, are both a fairly distant fourth. And then Moms and Rupees are just terrible, and nobody wants the Zazax and so forth to be in that prize pack, because then when you're climbing Ganon's tower, you say, oh, well, look at all these things that I don't need and can't possibly use anymore.
Yeah, you need one bomb at the top, but you don't need more than that for the rest of this game, so no value in picking up additional bombs and filling up the full 10.
Yeah, and there's a bomb under one of the pots after Lando 2, there's a bomb in the mini Helma room. It's pretty difficult to get there and not have a bomb and not be able to get it.
Moldorm put up about as much resistance the second time as he did the first time, which is to say, very little.
I think that was even less resistance than the first time. Jeddo, opening the ultimate chest of the game, finds 3 bombs, gets back to 10, full capacity. Not that they do anything to Ganon, not that they do anything to Aga 2, but here we are. Just a quick refight with the wizard, and then we can finally go visit the pig. Not the most ideal first pattern, but the second was pretty good.
The only thing is that maybe it ate one of those hits on the first. Oh, yeah, nope. Looks like no. It's fine.
Dropping into Ganon at 1 hour 20. That's pretty good for Kaz Boots. It's not the most amazing Kaz Boots time ever, but you feel pretty decent about it given where the things in the seed were. Misses the 1-1. Doesn't really get an ideal position for phase 2.
Yep, does take some hits, but did have that fairy. It's fine. Get right back up and get back to it.
Safely on into phase 3, where the fight becomes a lot more manageable. The fire bat rings in phase 2, if you don't get your hits in time, are really the thing that you worry more about.
And no, we did not find arrows in Thieves Town.
Yeah, that's a place you could have gone back at Thieves. Had some more items in it.
But now, phase 4, just need to get 12 silverless spins here. Get some nice triples in. And there we go. Get your GG's in chat for Jeddoman, who's about 10 seconds away from crossing the bridge and finishing. And in fact, we can tell you that even though Shinmaru was local recording, did not have internet, jeddoman does win with an official race time of 1:22:50, and Shinmaru did forfeit after that.
Also joined in the booth by today's winner, Jeddo. GG.
Thanks, GG.
Oh, so I think the play of the game for you was the fake powder to get those flippers.
Yeah. I did not expect to find that mushroom. I think it was at King's Tomb, if I remember correctly. So I looted, turned in that purple chest real quick, and then went and did that. But yeah, I was really, really worried that they were up in Hera basement because there was an item there, and I just didn't want to go back there.
Yeah, that was one of that was item you skipped there. I think in the race room, Shinmaru did say that he did find the powder, and it was the green pendant.
Green pendant turn in, yeah.
Yeah, have to kill Vitreous to get it. So,
no, thank you.
Yeah, you got to skip quite a bit by not having to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, this brings your team up to 3 wins on the season. Good for 9 points. And kind of nice to have those in the bank after 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, that feels pretty good. That puts us in a good place. I know week 4 we'll have some tougher opponents, so hopefully we can get some more in the bank, and we'll see what happens then. But it definitely feels good.
And who do you have upcoming for the AAD Keys week?
For AAD keys, we are against Smells Like Troll Seed. And Shiloh and TJ are going to be running that week. I'm sitting out.
Gonna get a little rest in, huh?
Yeah.
But this division does seem to have a lot of strong contenders. Joya Rando played you guys pretty close, and going forward, we've got quite a bit left to see in this division. You'd like to have those first 3 wins because, like you were saying, you've got some more strong competition coming up later on.
As per usual, it seems to be the way with the GT division every year.
Yeah, getting back to the seed you actually played, though, the Kakariko Village delay seemed to work out fairly strongly in your favor because of that bottle location, you were able to get the mirror off of Sick Kid. And I don't know when Shinmaru finally got to that, but we know he didn't get it during his village trip.
Yeah, that did feel good. And also having shovel then before I even went, so I just went through the south, grabbed that, and then went up into it. That routing felt strong. I had it in my head the whole time through escape. If I get bombs, I'm going South Shore first, and lo and behold. So
Yeah, and that led you to the bow and the lamp that led you to the eastern area that got that bottle in
yep,
Saha's closet.
yep.
The bow that you did not have enough arrows for to just try and splash delete a 3rd sword off of the Zora ledge, and then you just go into Saha's closet and, oh,
Yep.
look, a sword.
Yep, I was gonna keep going, and then I looked. I'm like, I don't have any arrows. Let's kill one of these Zoras and see what they've got. And, well, nothing.
Yeah, that was one thing. Shinru, when he went up in the area, he did have arrows, and so was able to get that. So he had the gold sword
Yeah,
going into Aga Tower, but that isn't
didn't.
that isn't as
Yeah,
big an advantage as the
no.
upgrade from the master to the tempered sword. So
Yeah, getting the tempered sword in the back of Saha's closet as well. It's just like, well, gold sword's dead.
yeah, and then you did have the opportunity to try the splash delete after you did your catfish and Zora uh, checks, but at that point, looked like you didn't have any interest anymore.
No, it wouldn't have saved as much time as going for the splash delete. The sword just wasn't worth the upgrade.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Yeah, but well, any final thoughts on the seed that was here?
Uh, no final thoughts there. I think we covered everything pretty well. It did seem to flow pretty decently.
All right, well, GG's again to you and your team, and we'll look forward to watching both of these teams as the league season goes on.
Thank you much, and thank you guys for the restream. Appreciate it.
Yeah, on behalf of my NDM, my co-host here in the comm booth. Thanks for joining me. Late Bit for doing the tracking. Artaro for pulling out the restream and giving us a chance to even have this here at all. Thank you all for watching, and my NDM, I'll give you the final word.
Yeah, thanks for coming and giving us an hour and a half-ish of your time on a Saturday afternoon or evening, whatever it might be for you. Let's have a quick look at the forward-going schedule here. We've got some more Week 2 coming up. I don't know if we have channels assigned for anything else, but there are some more games. Actually, Saturday ends kind of early, doesn't it? As I stop and look at this, I think there's one other match that's about an hour in that's not on a channel, and I think that Invitational League ended at something like 1 Eastern, and that's ended, not started. I think the last game was over by then. So yeah, coming up tomorrow, there are the final matches of Week 2 for both the Open and the Invitational Leagues. Those will get going as early as noon Eastern on the Open side and run as late as a 10 p.m. Eastern start. That last one would be Cowardly Dodgers versus Red Stalfos Exterminators. Ministry of Silly Routes and Hovering Sick Kids are going to kick off the Open side at noon Eastern. Over on the Invitational side, we do have some games upcoming that I do not believe have channels yet, but they do have other crew assigned, so you can look forward to such notables as a noon Eastern start for Bratwurst Buddies Skelly and Potato Pouch Tam in Kaz Boots. And We All Should Hover Every Day versus Farm Friends is going to get started an hour after that. Pugs versus Spec Rock Bonkers, also a 1 p.m. Eastern start. To Infinity and Pagog versus Oops All Foxes starting at 2 Eastern. And then a nightcap, your mom's favorite Rando team versus Don't Forget to Track Us. Shireen versus Flip Heel, that's got crew assigned. Look out for that one, a 9:40 p.m. Eastern start tomorrow night. With that, I think we've gotten down to the end of this thing. So, yeah, Maddie's giving out the thank yous. And one more thank you to chat for coming and hanging out with us for a little while today. I hope everybody was entertained, but for now, it's time to close up shop. So, have a good one, everybody. This is ALTTPR League signing off for now. We will be back later with more Link to the Past Randomizer League action.